Okay, so 2017, I think this is the third year now, so it's a perennial occasion. We welcome back Adam Biddle, and it's something that the USW students and faculty look forward to every year. Always insightful, always entertaining, and always challenging. Always bringing something new each year and contemporary for the students and the faculty to think about. So it's a great pleasure to have you back in the building. There's been some great change since we saw you last. Last you were heading up Vice's Editions. Now you've taken Vice's Editions for your own, set up your own organisation, Ghost, going from strength to strength, working with the same calibre of celebrity client, pushing campaigns predominantly now through videography, which clearly shows you're bang on the curve with, as we understand, everybody is now needing video content with the growth of social channels. What I'm interested to hear, Adam, is what outside of your own work has really grabbed your attention this year in terms of media campaigns?
Wow. I tend not to look too much at competition.
Okay.
Nor do I tend to look too much at what other people are doing.
Okay.
From a media point of view, which sounds crazy. Someone who's in a creative industry, normally the first thing you do is look at what's happening and then go, right, well, let's turn the apple into a pear, and then we'll go and sell that to somebody else. That's normally pretty much how marketing's always worked. Someone's come up with an idea, then someone else has gone, right, let's change it a little bit.
We'll reposition it.
And then we'll sell it back to a client. I tend not to look at other media campaigns. I tend not to look at other media. For example, my own personal Facebook has nothing in the feed. So I've unfollowed every single thing that I've ever liked and every single person I've ever liked. So when I go onto Facebook now, I see nothing.
Okay.
Which sounds ridiculous for someone who predominantly sells social media content for a living. But I've been doing this for so long now that I don't feel I need to look for inspiration by other people. I think the most important thing when it comes to talking to a brand or talking to a client or talking to a celebrity, the thing I look to first is to try and understand them.
Okay.
Understand what they're about, understand what their mission is, understand what their purpose is. And then from that you look at the audience. Who's buying, who's consuming, who's listening. And then you get into the ideas. And I feel that if you understand those two first, the idea will come. You don't need to necessarily try and Google and search for stuff. And I'm also blessed by the fact that I have an amazing team that work with me that send ideas up the chain as well. So not only am I thinking of ideas, someone's sending me this, and someone sent me something the other day and said this is a really good execution of how they've used emojis plus filmed video. So yeah, I don't try and look too much for it. I'm in a kind of a position where it kind of comes to me, I guess. Sounds a bit strange.
What a wonderful position to be in. Yeah, absolutely. So what are the challenges then that you're facing now in terms of, I mean, one of the things that we've seen and something that we've discussed, of course, we've got a fragmented channel, and that equation of reach and conversion just doesn't seem to work in any one channel at the moment. Plus with that, if we're looking to reach people on scale, we've got the slow death of print media. Is that still a challenge in 2017? Is it becoming more of a challenge, or are we adapting in our campaigns to a smaller audience?
I think with the scale of new technologies plus new channels, everything gets more complicated, not easier. Yeah. Surely it should be easier now. Surely it should be like, oh, you know, marketers should have the answer. They should be able to go, this is exactly what you should do with your budget. But you have the traditional media only pushing traditional means. You have the new media only pushing new media. And what happens is traditional media say, social media's not that important. Social media say, traditional's not that important. And they're constantly fighting. I actually believe that every type of marketing is valuable if you understand, again, what I said earlier, the product and the audience. There's no right or wrong. It's not, social media is not the best place to market every single thing you can possibly do. No way. So I think there's a lot of complications with media at this current moment. I think the hardest thing as an agency right now is how you manage budgets, and how budgets are constantly changing. They're constantly in flux. And the biggest thing that I say to people that say, who are your competitors? I say my competitor is someone who's in university right now.
Yeah.
That's my competitor, because what's going to happen is I've been doing this for 8 years, and my fees are only going to increase because the company gets bigger, overheads get bigger, everything gets bigger. However, the ability to create content is getting cheaper. Cameras are getting better and they're getting cheaper. And people are born literally holding an iPad now. They're born holding an iPad, so by the time they're 8, filming videos. So this is something the other day. I said, we're going to see our first billionaire under 16, like very soon. Someone who's going to be at school will think of some crazy idea, create an app, and then someone will turn around and give them £1 billion.
Yeah, it's an acquisition.
Yeah,
absolutely.
How amazing is that? So, a long-winded way to try and answer your question.
No.
But for me, there's never been a better time to be a young creative.
So if we're talking, we're going to focus on young creatives. We are at the University of South Wales, and you're a philosophical man. I've known you for 3 years now. You're accepting, there's new blood coming through. Is there any advice that you would give anyone at this stage who's graduating as to how they should approach the sector, or how they should present themselves in the sector?
Yeah, I think absolutely essential. You need some form of portfolio. A CV for me is not good enough anymore. A CV. So, for example, when it comes to interviewing in Ghost, they go through a whole procedure before they get to see me. For example, so I'm pretty much seeing people that are in the final stages. I don't look at their CV. I look at, or I find out basically 2 bits of information from them. Where have they studied and what have they studied? Because that gives me a good understanding of what they're thinking and what their mind is, and where's their experience. But I look at everything like a sales pitch. So if you're in an interview scenario and you're trying to get a job, you are selling yourself.
Yep.
And in order to sell yourself, you need to have a great portfolio on yourself. Here's what I think. Here's the books I've read. Here are the bits of content that I've worked on. Here are the things that I've filmed. Here are the people that I follow. I've made a blog. I'm also into cooking. I'm into all of this.
Yep.
That's what I look for. And I think the best bit of advice I can give to anybody who's graduating and looking for a job in the creative industry is they absolutely have to think about themselves as a media channel.
Okay.
Rather than just being like, oh, I've just handed my CV out, but no one's calling me. Because that's what everyone's doing.
Yeah. So I think to summarise that, what you're saying is, as an employer, don't tell me, show me what you can do.
That.
Exactly that.
I've employed so many, and it's a lot easier if you are a creative. So if you're a videographer or you're a graphic designer, having a portfolio is simple because here's the things I've created. It becomes harder when you're someone like myself, who is not a graphic designer, not a creative, in the truest sense of actually creating content. That's when you have to think even, like, you have to think to another level. And I remember going, when I finished university, I was trying to get a job at Universal Records. And I thought, right, how are they going to hire me? So I created a PowerPoint presentation on the future of music and how I believed I could be a part of that. And then I also created a box that had the USB of that presentation in it. Okay. And I went to Universal and handed it in. And a week later I got a call from the HR department at Universal. And I went for a job interview at Island Records in radio promotions. And I got the job and turned it down. Because I got offered another job. Right. Because that's what I was thinking, wow, this is what, 9 years ago? Yeah. But to create a presentation on yourself, it sounds a bit narcissistic, but at the same time it's like I was telling them this is the problem in the music industry right now, and I believe that my vision and what I've learned from going to uni and studying, I believe I can help Universal actually move forward. So
9 years ago, that was your vision. Retrospectively looking back, how right were you?
I don't actually remember what I put in that.
Okay. All right.
Probably very wrong.
Right, yeah, there you go. At least you're going to go.
But it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. You're thinking.
It's the intention. And I think this is a very important thing that I've learned over the last couple of years. Your intention can be more important than your action. Yeah. Because if your intention is, I am here, I want to learn, I want to do something different, I'm giving you something extra. My intention is coming from a place of, I want to be the best I possibly can. Yeah. your action can follow from that. And I think people can see intention a lot more than they can action. I think it's a strange philosophy, but I think your intention can be, you know, I see it in people I hire. If their intention is I'm here every single day at 9 AM, half an hour before work, I don't complain about working overtime,
Sure.
I work super hard. The intention is there. You don't need to worry about those people.
Yeah, work ethic.
You just know they're going to fly.
Yeah, sure.
You just know they're going to fly. And the small actions of, that bit of work wasn't great, that could be changed, that will come over time. But if you have that grounding, you have that set intention from the off, you're a very special person.
You've touched on it a little with the attempt at seeking employment at Island Records. How has your own career progressed then, briefly, from then until now? Yeah,
so I left university in, I think it was 2009. So I started 2007, left 2009. I was lucky enough while I was at university to be given an internship where I did 9 months free, travel only, working in a very small digital marketing company. Then I got the job at Sandbag, which was when I was going to go to Ireland, but I went to Sandbag, which is a music merchandise company.
Okay.
I worked there for 6 months, and then the person that gave my internship called me up and said, hey, we've set up this social media company. Do you want to come and run it? We have no clients, we have no idea, but we were really impressed by what you were doing in your internship, that we basically want to give you this company.
Yeah.
We're going to give you pretty much no money, you've got to move to London, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, why not?
Yeah.
What have I got to lose?
Yeah.
Nothing. If it all goes wrong, I can go live with my mum again. It's not a problem. So moved to London, and then got a client in my first week, which was a DJ called Sharon, who probably no one's ever heard of. It was part of Deep Dish, had one massive hit a long time ago. And then my second client was Above and Beyond. And then it started this snowball effect of like, once you've got one client, you get 2. Once you've got 2, you get 4. Then you get 8. Before we knew it, 18 months in, we had people like Arcadia Group. We had Thomas Cook. We had a social media business without even really knowing we had a social media business.
Right.
And that's when a US company called The Audience, which was owned by William Morris Group, came to the UK to seek an office and a team to expand The Audience out of the US into the UK, and they found us, and that's where I became a director in The Audience, and this is back in 2012. That was really when business and work became real.
Oh, wow. William Morris did like the biggest booking agency in the world.
Massive.
Yeah, so
that's when I realised that, oh wow, I've arrived.
Yeah.
You know, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not messing around anymore. And that's when I really had to focus to take my career to the next level. And then Vice came, moved to Vice, created an agency with Vice. And then the end of last year, I decided that I can do this myself now. You know, I've had that 10,000 hours, if Malcolm Gladwell says. I've had that experience probably 4 or 5 times by working so many hours that I can do it myself with a great team around me. You know, a great chairman, some great investment, and a great team to be able to do it myself.
So let's get some perspective on that. You graduated in 2009, we're 2017. So in 8 years, you went from working at a merchandise company through 8 years later now to running your own company. And this is where you can name drop. I know you're a very modest person, you probably wouldn't like to, but representing some big high-profile celebrity clients. Yeah.
I've worked, I haven't counted it, I probably should do this, because it would be fascinating. I think I've probably worked with over 500 different things. And I say things because it's so hard to put them into one bracket, but whether that be celebrities, whether that be sports events, whether that be brands, and that includes heads of states. I've done politicians. You know, I've been to Buckingham Palace. I've launched the royal family on social media, and then gone to do things like with Eddie Murphy. You know, I was the voice of Eddie Murphy for a while. Brands like Dorothy Perkins. So it's almost when you look back on it, it's quite strange to see how could someone start their career by packing T-shirts into a box, end up being the advisor to an ex-politician, you know, the ex-prime minister of this country, for 18 months on what should be done on social media.
And if it isn't too personal to ask, why do you think it is you've been able to achieve that? What is it that's...
I think I've always had, growing up, a massive sense of desire to want to achieve. I think that was always been. I remember being at school, everyone would be like, "Yeah, you'll definitely do something." Like, even though I didn't do well at school, the system for school wasn't for me. I'm not an academic. You know, I can't sit and write a white paper. You know, I struggle now to write. Like, it sounds crazy, but you know, I dictate quite a lot, and I have an amazing assistant who helps write things for me because my mind doesn't think like that.
Yeah.
My mind doesn't work in a school system. It works in a completely different system. It works in a business system. It works in a system where knowing how to create service, product, creativity. But at the heart of it has been this dedication. It has been this fundamental drive. It's like, I am not stopping. That heartbeat every day, just there, ticking away, not stopping, not going. There's nothing would faze me.
Yeah.
Continue to keep going. And it's not easy. People think that, you know, when you're watching from the other side of the screen, people think, oh, yeah, I bet that was easy. I bet like someone gave me some money and he had a really easy time. That was it. Not at all. You know, had to fire staff, had to hire people, had to let people go, had to lose best friends, had to create best friends. You know, had to give up lots of things for it. But whenever you look at anyone who owns a business or has gone through a period of changes to have their own business, there's one fundamental thing that is underneath all of that, and that's dedication. There is luck, massive parts of luck, right time, right place, all of that, absolutely. But it's dedication that's underneath it all. Because without that dedication, every single day, that heartbeat going, doesn't matter how lucky you are.